Food. Grow as much as you can, as often as you can, and as long as you can. And while we're at it, we might as well grow some Irish potatoes. Hi, I'm Annette and welcome to Kitchen Garden Farmhouse. Today is all about Irish potatoes. But before we get started, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe and ring the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video. For a more successful harvest, sprout your potatoes. When I went and bought these seed potatoes, I was very fortunate that these seed potatoes were already sprouted. So I did not have to go through the chitting process on these potatoes here. But there's just way too many eyes on them. So I'm going to take time and go through each potato and cut out all the eyes except for 2 on each potato. Because if you have too many eyes, you'll have more potatoes, but they'll be very small. Whereas if you have less eyes, say like just no more than 2, then your potatoes will be bigger. So that's what I'm aiming for here, to have bigger potatoes. So now, because I cut out the eyes and some of the potato is exposed, I'm going to have to let them callus over for about a day or 2, just like you would if you were slicing the potato to make more pieces out of one potato to plant. A good rule of thumb is to plant your Irish potatoes outdoors somewhere between 1 to 2 weeks before your last average frost date. Irish potatoes is a cool season crop. They don't like it too cold though, and they definitely do not like it too hot. When the temperatures begin to soar around 80 degrees Fahrenheit or above, it will be time to protect your potato plants from the heat with shade cloth. Where in your garden will you be planting your Irish potatoes? Irish potatoes need full sun. They really like sun anywhere between 6 to 8 hours a day. A good thing about buying seed potatoes, it will come with a blue tag that represents it has been certified to be disease-free when you receive the potatoes. I'm going to be planting today red Norland seed potatoes. Red Norland potatoes are recommended for zones 3 through 9. If you do slice your potatoes, make sure you allow 1 to 2 days for the potato flesh to heal over or to callus over to help prevent diseases and rotting of the potato. Now, because I'm going to be planting my Irish potatoes in containers this season, I'm going to have to make up my own soil, and I'll be going over that with you. This container that I will be planting my Irish potatoes in is approximately 12 inches deep and 14 inches across in diameter, which is a really good size if you're going to plant one potato in here. When you are preparing your soil, it is important that it is slightly acidic, somewhere between 5 and 6 on the pH scale. If this pH is too high, it can cause the potatoes to have something known as potato scab. So it's important to bring that pH down if your soil is too alkaline, and you can do that with sulfur. Now, if your pH is way too acidic, you can add a little bit of lime to bring it back up some. Okay, so I am ready to prepare my soil for my containers. I'm going to bring you in close and show you what I'm doing. Over here to my left is my native soil from Florida. It has a lot of sand in it, so that's going to be a good thing to add to my container. And then I'm going to add 1 gallon of this and 1 gallon of perlite to aid in the drainage also. Now, perlite is a natural product. It's from the volcanoes. It's been heated up, so it is a nice natural product. Next, I'm going to be putting in my own compost. This is about 9 months old. Compost is great for your garden. It gives you so many benefits. One, it gives you needed microbiology. And then last, I'm going to be adding a gallon of peat moss to my mix. This right here, I really like it for several reasons. One, peat moss by nature is acidic. So all by itself, the acidity of this is somewhere between 3 to 4 on the pH scale. So I'm putting 1 gallon of this, and this is going to help me bring my soil down to a nice acidic level without having to add extra sulfur in it. So altogether, this is about 4 gallons of different amendments, and my container is about 5 gallons. So this is going to work out good. So I'm just going to mix this all together. Those 4 ingredients together definitely has created a really nice sandy loam. Now before I put it in the container, I do want to pre-moisten this. I want it to be the consistency of a wrung out sponge. The moisture content in this looks really good. So you see when I squeeze it, it's just like a wrung out sponge. Let's check the soil pH. The pH of this soil is about 6.4. I want it to be more around 5.5, so I'm going to have to make some amendments to the soil. What I did is I added more peat moss to my mix, and as you can see, it definitely brought the pH down to 5.6, so this is a good pH level to grow the Irish potatoes. Now you could put sulfur in it if you had it. The only thing about sulfur is it does work and it's very fast acting, but it's short-lived, and it's something you would have to reapply ever so often to keep that pH right where it needs to be. Now it's time to fill up the container. So as I put water in here, it is less volume because everything is now weighted down with the moisture of the water. And so with that, we do not want to fill it all the way up because we want to leave room here at the top to be able to heal up our potatoes to prevent them from turning green from the sunlight. So with that, next we're going to get into the fertilizers. Irish potatoes are not heavy feeders. However, they do require a certain amount of trace minerals and nutrients for maximum production. Irish potatoes do need nitrogen. However, they need more phosphorus and potassium over nitrogen because too much nitrogen on root vegetables can cause disease issues, and also it can cause the foliage to grow great but less growth in the tubers. For today's Irish potatoes, I'm going to be using Dr. Herb's Organic and Natural Vegetable, Tomato, and Herb Fertilizer. It has an NPK of 463. Now this 5-gallon container is a little bit larger at the top than 1 square feet. So however, I'm going to put approximately a 1/4 cup of the Dr. Herb's fertilizer here on top. I'm also going to add just a small handful of bone meal. And I'm just going to mix this in. Now, natural organic fertilizers takes a little bit of time of breaking down. It's time to plant the seed potato. Now, I've already taken time to take off most of the little eyes, leaving 2 eyes per potato. I'm going to plant my potatoes whole. So I'm just going to put it down here in the soil and just cover it up, and then as it begins to sprout, I'm going to be adding more soil on top. After your seed potatoes are planted, it's a good idea to mulch them with something. Now here, I am mulching mine with pine needles, which also is on the acidic side, but you can mulch yours with ground up leaves or even straw. Within 1 day, between all the wind and the heat from the sun, my Irish potatoes are looking poorly today. I'm going to have to move them to shade. I have moved my Irish potatoes to the shade. However, where they are at, they are getting some filter sunlight throughout the day, so they should be just fine. It is time for me to harvest the Irish potatoes. I have planted the Red Norland variety this season. Now, I still have some green canopy, but a part of my canopy has died. I probably could let them go another couple weeks or so, but Irish potatoes is a cool season crop, and it has gotten so hot here in Central Florida. Anywhere from 92 to 96 so far, and it's just the middle of May. I know we live in different zones and different areas. Would you please leave me a comment below and what zone you're from and what time of the year is best for you to plant your Irish potatoes? Here in Central Florida, we can start our Irish potatoes anywhere as early as January or the 1st of February. Now, I have chosen the Red Norland potatoes, and from seed to harvest, it takes somewhere around 90 to 95 days. And today makes day number 92 for these. So even though I can let them go a little longer, I'm going to go ahead and harvest them because the heat is increasing by the week. I've got my containers all piled up in the wheelbarrow for convenience to begin to harvest these potatoes, and I only planted potatoes in 5 containers this season. 3 of them are larger than the other 2, so we'll see what the outcome will be. Now, there's lots of benefits in growing your Irish potatoes in containers. One, when it's time to harvest, all you have to do is just dump them out. And this will protect the potatoes from being scarred from trying to dig them out. So we do have some potatoes here, and they are looking very good. Now these are going to be some of your early potatoes, so they're going to be smaller, and some are smaller than others. It is a joy and a reward to be able to harvest your potatoes, and they're quite easy to grow. And this is a main staple. A lot of people likes potatoes, and to be able to cook them and prepare them many different ways. So I was able to harvest 7 normal sized potatoes from this container, and then some baby ones. So this was a success. Here's my second container. It is quite smaller than the first one. Let's see what kind of harvest we're going to get from this smaller container. So here's my harvest from the second container. So obviously you will want to plant in larger containers if you have them available. This is my third container. Quite a bit more green canopy on it, even though some has died, but once again, because of the heat, I'm going to go ahead and harvest these. Lots of small new potatoes. The skin is going to be very tender, and so you can eat the skin as well. This is container number 4. It is a small container. So on this one here, I got about 7 average sized potatoes as far as new potatoes, and some tiny ones. This is my 5th container. It is a larger one. Once again, it has lots of green canopy on it, even though some of it has died, but they've had to be harvested because it's just getting too hot. So on these, I got about 9 average size new potatoes, and then some small ones. Here's my harvest out of my 5 containers, 3 being larger, 2 being small containers. Not bad. I'm pleased with my harvest. I consider this a success for the season. It is so hot out here. I'm up underneath the shade tree, and it's just so humid and so hot. But I am thankful that you took time to come and watch this video with me today. And if you enjoyed it, please remember to give it a thumbs up. That helps the channel to grow. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.